we have very specific requirements in terms of skills as we work on leasing, one of the things we require from people is actually to have experience on the field. And the leasing experience is quite small because it's not like, like when you work in sales or when you work in logistics, when many companies actually work on it. Leasing is a skill that is a bit limited in the market. The second thing is actually working in an international company like Bixi. You need to actually master foreign language, especially English. French can be a plus, but for sure we need people who actually can speak in English. For sure, about 90% of our partners are Vietnamese people, but we also have people coming from foreign countries, and most of them don't speak Vietnamese, so we need someone who can be, of course, speaking Vietnamese, but who is also comfortable exchanging with the partners in English.
Some of the things that they lack would be, first, the English skill, because in our organization we use English as a medium. The second would be either the qualifications on the degree or work experience. If you're a lecturer, we typically like a master's or higher. If you work in administrations, you have to have at least a bachelor's and also up to 3 years experience. This is one of the issues that I've seen in the past that created many problems for people applying for jobs.
So if I'm thinking about either my colleagues as directors or the employees, what I see the difference about the employees who manage to reach the director level is really about the people who can take initiative. What I see with employees is that sometimes, especially young graduates, will be a bit like too scholar. They will be like a bit afraid of taking initiative, proposing solutions, and will be waiting actually for the director to give the solution to them. The people who can really reach the next level are really people who are able to take risk, meaning control risk. They can discuss, the solution with the director, but they will really be someone who can propose, something, a new way of doing for the company. Someone who, when they face a problem, they don't come to the director saying I have a problem, but they say like I have a problem and here is 1 or 2 solutions when I propose, and that is really what is going to make the difference to reach that next level.
So my opinion about Vietnamese employees, as I mentioned before, is very positive. I always have a good experience working with Vietnamese, mainly because they're teamwork. However, there's some difficulties that Vietnamese have in the workplace, which include the communication gap, the cultural gap, and also English. So in the communication gap, it's connected very well to the English and also the culture. The communication gap can come between people, even in Vietnamese people in the organization, or up even with me. There's many miscommunication that leads to problems. The second is the cultural gap, because I am American and many of my staff is Vietnamese. So we have communication. It could be different things like eye contact is wrong, different. It could be the posture, the body language, or also the language written in something like email. And in addition, English is one of the big barriers that I've seen problems with. However, currently, as the younger generation comes into Vietnam, we're seeing a lot higher levels of English, and that's really an advantage for younger people working in Vietnam.
So I will say 2 things. I'm not worried too much for Vietnamese employees with the new economic community, because there is something that Vietnamese employees have that other people don't have, which is the knowledge of the market. Right? You can have been, educated either in France, the Western countries, or in Malaysia or Singapore, but when it comes to Vietnamese market, no one knows the Vietnamese market as good as Vietnamese people, and that will always be the case. That being said, when you actually compete on the director level, you will be integrating more like managing jobs, and it will require more international skills. So for sure, for young graduates, for you, if you want to enter the market and move fast inside the company, you need to be flexible to work in an international environment. So that means number one, mastering the language, English being the first, of course. After, you may have some specifics. If you work in a Japanese or Korean company, you may have to actually master that language too. The second thing is about flexibility, meaning like people come from other cultures than you, so you need to be able to listen, trying to understand their way of thinking, so you can actually, understand like the way they want to work, and you can actually, once again, reach the next level inside the company.
The Asian Economic Community, which will take place and affect Vietnam the end of this year, will have some benefits, also some disadvantages when it comes into effect. So part of the Asian Economic Community, AEC, is that there will be a free flow of labor. So this poses some threats as well as some opportunities for Vietnamese workers. The opportunity is very clear. Vietnamese employees are going to be able to transfer work into other countries such as Malaysia. However, it also poses some threats because many of those countries are going to try to come into Vietnam to work. And I believe it will be done at a higher management level. So therefore, it will be much more competitive getting a job in Vietnam at a management level.
I think like the work market is going to be like more and more complicated. People are going to move from company again and again. So the thing for you to prepare for the future, number one, I would say like you need to think about what you want to do. A lot of people I see actually like land a job kind of by default because they ask 20 companies, and then the one that's actually going to give them a good answer, a positive answer, that's where they're going to land up. What is important for you, as the work market is going to be more complicated, is really to have a vision of what you want to carry to look like. If you know where you want to go, then finding the way to that place is going to be easier. If you don't know where you want to go, what you want your career to look like, it's going to be more complicated for you to find the path to go there, right? So first, decide, envision what you want your future to look like. Then you will be able to find the companies for that. Once you know like the path you need to take, then you will know what the requirements for you. So once again, if you envision yourself to be like in an international company and you're very comfortable, for instance, in the Japanese culture, then you know like who are the Japanese companies working in Vietnam. So it's easier for you to actually know where to apply. But you also know that in terms of requirements, you will need to master the Japanese language. So once again, look at your goal first, and then you will find the way.
So my final thought is some advice for Vietnamese students. One, and quite important, is the English language. Globalization is currently taking control and taking over, and everyone is going to have to learn English as the medium because every country in business uses English. The second and most important is cultural understanding. Without cultural understanding, it can lead to miscommunication, even in the same language. So something that we teach our students at ISB, and especially in my class, is understanding different cultures, respecting different cultures, and learning how to work with them in the most effective and efficient way. Thank you.